How far will electric cars really travel on a full charge? We've got 10 of the best here, and we're going to find out. This range test is part of What Car's Electric Car and Plug-in Hybrid Awards, sponsored by Onto. And for this experiment, we have 6 award winners: the Kia e-Niro, VW ID3, SKODA ENYA, FIAT 500, Porsche Taycan, and Tesla Model 3. And we also have 4 wildcard entrants in the shape of the Mazda MX-30, Ford Mustang Mach-E, Audi Q4 e-tron, and the Renault Zoe. They were all driven around a 15-mile loop at Millbrook Proving Ground, which included 2.6 miles of simulated stop-start urban driving, 4 miles at a steady 50 miles an hour, and 8 miles at 70 miles an hour. And to read more about the exact specifics of how we tested them, and to read about all of our other EV award winners, click the link to head to whatcar.com, where you can also get a great deal on your next car. And don't forget, subscribe to the channel so you can see lots more car reviews and features just like this. But now, let's run through the results. The first one to give up was the Mazda MX-30. A claimed range of 124 miles is among the worst of any new EV, so it's no great surprise that after 115 miles, it was the first to conk out. It's a strange and frustrating car because it's really nice to drive and has a great interior, but it's very impractical considering its size and clearly has a terrible range. Click the link to watch our full review. Next to go was the Fiat 500, which managed 140 miles. This was really particularly disappointing because officially it's supposed to cover 198 miles. That shortfall of almost 30% between claimed range and real-world range was the biggest among the lineup here. The Skoda ENYA went 207 miles in the 60 version which we tested it in, which is a decent result, and there's lots of reasons to recommend the ENYA with its competitive pricing and extremely practical interior. Click the link to watch our full review to find out more. The ENYA was though beaten by 1 mile by the Renault Zoe. The Zoe was also far more efficient than the ENYA, which is hardly a surprise considering it's a much smaller and lighter car. But the excellent result here shows that the Zoe is still a great option for those after a small electric car. If you consider range versus price, then the VW ID3 looks very appealing indeed. The version we tested cost less than £30,000 once the government grant has been factored in, and it kept going for 226 miles. It's also a comfortable and practical EV. It's just a shame it has one of the worst infotainment systems around. The Kia e-Niro dropped out next after a very impressive 257 miles. Even though it's one of the oldest electric cars in this list, it is still one of the very best. You can find out exactly why by watching our full review of the car by clicking on the link at the top of your screen. And also, with excellent efficiency of 4 miles per kilowatt hour, it almost matched our 4th placed car. The Audi Q4 e-tron 40 travelled 266 miles until it was empty, with the much bigger battery ultimately meaning it was able to travel further than the e-Niro. It's worth pointing out that this Q4 e-tron 40 which we tested is very similar to the ENYA 80, which would almost certainly achieve a very similar result. Perhaps the biggest shock of all was the Porsche Taycan achieving 281 miles, which is only 9 miles or 3% short of its official range. It was, by a fraction, the least efficient of the bunch though, averaging just under 3.4 miles per kilowatt hour. But it's an incredibly capable performance car with fat, sticky tyres and acceleration that can embarrass even the Tesla Model 3. But the Model 3 edged the Taycan for range, managing 284 miles. And at 4.1 miles per kilowatt hour, it had the best efficiency of any EV here, and by far the biggest emergency buffer, continuing to drive normally for many miles after its trip computer was reading empty. It is a truly outstanding electric car. Our full review explains why, and you can watch that by clicking on the link at the top of the screen. But the winner, the electric car which travelled the furthest distance from a full charge, was the 302-mile Ford Mustang Mach-E. So ultimately, it was the car with the biggest battery that won. But at 3.4 miles per kilowatt hour, the efficiency was pretty much as poor as the Taycan's. And with a very unsettled ride and so-so handling, it isn't the best EV around. But in this extended range version, it certainly impresses for range. So the Mach-E is the winner. Shocked? Surprised? Saw it coming all along? Tell us in the comments below, and also let us know which of these electric cars would be the one that you would take home. Thanks very much for watching, and please do make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you can see all of our other new car reviews as soon as they go live. And if you want to buy a new car, make sure you go to whatcar.com to get a great deal.